Hello, my name's Lori Davis and we're going to talk today about some meal prep. I have vegetables all over the place here, and so we'll just get started. I want to clear a few things off of my area first, and I just wanted to just kind of get these things out of the way. I just got some chives here, and I'm really bad sometimes about not using them up before they start to wilt and go bad. So just a simple trick. You could go ahead and freeze these, and you can go ahead, since you're already prepping, you could go ahead and chop these up with my food chopper with Pampered Chef. Some of these worked, some of these did not. Yeah, I got some great pieces of the food chopper is great for smaller things. It's great for cutting nuts, for cutting, oh goodness, you can smash your Oreos, you can make graham cracker crust. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my chives and put them in a little baggie. These ones I'm gonna cut. Put them in a little baggie, and then that way they are ready in the freezer. Anytime you want some, just go in and get a pinch, and it's not that big of a deal. And you can just kind of lay that bag out. So I kind of like to do a lot of little bags because, you know, you don't need a ton of chives. Just depend on what you're doing. If you're doing a big family dinner or something smaller. And we'll do these and get them out of the way. And let's talk about some mushrooms. That's another thing I wanted to do really quickly. I wanted to show you a little bit about washing a mushroom. The best way, when you're just buying a regular portobello mushroom, just some of the white mushrooms in the store, it's just easy enough to get a like some kind of cloth and dampen that and just kind of brush off all of that is left on that mushroom. You don't really want to immerse them in water. Sometimes you can, and then I've even seen too, like some of the kind that are not that round nice top, that they really have, some of them have an additional pop-up. I can't recall what kind that is, but that would be something that would be great to get a little toothbrush and have it like your kitchen toothbrush. Of course, we have a dual purpose, dual-sided brush that we sell with Pampered Chef. That might be something really quick and easy for you. And I'm just gonna cut these in half really super quick, so fast. And so let's talk about roasting vegetables. I'm gonna do a couple of different sheet pans. I've got some vegetables in the air fryer right now, and I even steamed some vegetables in my quick cooker. So I have vegetables all over the place. It's kind of my meal prep day. And what I'm doing is I'm just trying to save myself time. I've got one big time where I just cut everything up because, you know, I've been that culprit that has actually had to throw some vegetables away because I really wasn't using them as fast as I thought that I would. And then I've got all this stuff that's going right in the trash can. So this is just great. When you start to see some things that are just on the verge, like, you know, I'm not gonna eat it tomorrow, so let's go ahead and cut everything up, get it in the oven, get it in my air fryer, and get some of these vegetables prepped in my refrigerator, and then be really fast for a great toss, reheat, and put on the plate, and you are like totally ready to go. So, all right, I'm so overwhelmed by all the things that I have here. Let's see, I do have a plan, I think. So I'm gonna pull out my large bar pan, make some space for myself. We'll get rid of our food chopper. I don't think I'm gonna need it. So I have some veggies pre-cut, and let's just do, let's do this. Okay, got a few things here I'm gonna pull out. So I've already cut up some sweet potatoes. I have some red potatoes in here, and they're all cut. So here's like tip number one with making your roasted vegetables really in a great way. Number one rule is make sure whatever your items are that they're cut about the same size. That's really going to help you out whenever you have an end result. When you've got these things all cut about the same size, they're all cooking at that same rate. Hold on one sec. So I have some carrots and some zucchini sticks in my air fryer right now. I just put them in for 10 minutes, and at that 5-minute mark, it has you switch the trays. So I've just done that, and we'll see where they're at in that 10 minutes, see if they need a couple more minutes, and we'll talk about them here in a little bit. So with our potatoes, again, so these are all cut around the same size. The second tip is that you want to have vegetables that are a like item, so the density is the same. So like with potatoes, I have potatoes with potatoes. Your root vegetables are really good to all be together, and some of the most common ones would be your different kinds of potatoes, some onion, carrots would be one that would be great with this together, and those are some of the main ones that we use kind of every day. They're that harder vegetable that they really don't have that much give. So you want to cook those kind together, and then that way, let's say if I add a mushroom on here, my mushrooms are going to be really, really overdone. So that's the first tip. Also, another thing that we're going to talk about is just different flavors as well. So sometimes when we do meal prep, we kind of do everything all the same way, and you could do that. It's not against the rules, but at the same time, you really want to give yourself a variety, especially if you're doing some healthy eating. You want to give yourself, if you're doing some healthy eating, sometimes if you're eating the same thing every day, it really helps put you in a rut, and then you just kind of give up, and we don't want to do that. So with these potatoes, I'm going to do our 3 onions rub here. And do you ever get like is it a Lipton onion soup and add those in your potatoes? That's a really easy trick that you can do. Those little packets of Lipton onion soup, and you can add that in, just dump that packet in with some oil, and you're like good to go there. So I'm gonna try to toss this around and see what we have here. See if it looks like they're covered all the way. Runaway potatoes, all right. They're pretty good. Plus, I'm putting this in my bar pan, and it really doesn't need all that oil, so we're in good shape here because this is already seasoned. Looks like a mess, but it's actually great. So don't be scared of some color on your Pampered Chef stoneware. So tip number 3 is to make sure that your vegetables have space. So the differences is if you pile up and really fill whatever you're filling, your tray, your pan, if you're filling that with the vegetables, whatever they may be, they have no room to roast. What they're going to do is steam. So if you layer something out and give it more of a room, make sure that they have space from each other, then you're going to really get that roast, that charred flavor that you're looking for. And I think you'll be much happier. So that might be something that you're doing that you're not liking about how your vegetables are turning out, your potatoes and things like that. So if you really want that char, you really want to give them space. That's almost too much what I did there, but I'm going to go with it, and we're going to be okay. So I'm going to put these in the oven, and I'm going to, since they're potatoes and they're going to take longer, so you're back to your root vegetables, they're going to take around 40-45 minutes at least. You're going to want to stir them at least one time, about halfway through, and that's with all the vegetables, but these are more, they're going to take longer to cook. So that's what's important, is that you're putting the same style of vegetable together with each other so that they have that same cooking time. So I'm going to toss these in. So we've got that for 40, and will start working on something new here. But I hear my buzzer. Let me go check, and I'll let you take a peek at where they are at 10 minutes. So I have carrot sticks, and then fresh carrot sticks, and then I also have like zucchini sticks as well. So I made the zucchini bigger because they are not as hard as that carrot, and so we'll see how that worked out for me. So here they both are, and they're just now, especially the zucchini, you can see some places it's starting to brown. Let me see here. This is one of my bigger carrots, and it is still kind of hard in that center, which would be really great though, because if I'm storing these in the refrigerator, you know they might get a little bit more soft. So this actually might be a good temperature for them to keep. And that way when I put them in the container and I throw them maybe in my skillet really quick, or I could even put them back in the air fryer, because our air fryer is amazing. It has a reheat button as well. So these carrots might be absolutely perfect. And honestly, I think I'm gonna put my zucchini, I like a little more char on my zucchini, so I think I'm gonna let them go back in. Let me flip these. And I'm just gonna put these in, and everything else is good to go. What's great is you can select your temperature, you can select your time, everything is changeable, and we're gonna go. So the next thing that I am going to do is put this somewhere. Set that on my trivet here. All right, so let's talk about some broccoli. So we said there were different veggies that you want to have that are more similar. So your cauliflower, broccoli, way down in here is some Brussels sprouts, and your mushrooms. Those would be super great to have together. They're all kind of that same consistency. Got too much on my plate here. Da-da-da. Let's see. Let me get this back off for a sec. We are gonna fill that up. So what I'm doing is I'm gonna cut these. Some of them are large. And if you want something, go ahead, you're fine. All right, so let me toss them in the same container, because what did I have in there? I had oil, I had salt, pepper, and herb sauce, so like herb rub, I should say. And so like we're no problem. I've got a kid carousing in my kitchen right now while we do this. So I'm just cutting these broccolis into that same size, and we're just going to try to do everything about the same. And down in here, that's what I'm trying to head to. Down in my bowl here, I have my Brussels sprouts. So I've already trimmed the edges. And I've already cut those edges off at the base, the stem, and then I'm just going to cut them in half for you now. So obviously these are all vegetables that I like. My whole family does not like all of these vegetables, but I sure do. So what I'll do is I'm going to make a pan up for me. I'm going to put it in a larger container, and then I'll just dip out of it. It's great for me for like a snack. It's great for me to reheat and throw on the dinner plate. I can use some veggies, not these ones in particular, but there would be some veggies that I would throw in with my breakfast eggs and things like that. Like there's so much. So having these things prepped up is super smart, because it really saves us a lot of time. I'm gonna throw all these mushrooms in. We'll see if they fit, but We're gonna try. I have tons left, guys. I have so many veggies right now. So my pan is a little bit bigger, so I'm gonna drizzle again, but I wanna show you something. I could pull my pan completely out and spritz it with our kitchen spritzer. I really do love this. Just for the sake of time though, I'm gonna show this to you. You pump up your oil, and you get to put your healthy choice of your oil, your favorite, has usually one ingredient. Mine is olive oil. When you use those chemical sprays, there's tons of ingredients, a lot of junk in there, and this is fully pressurized, and then boom, you spray. You can spritz, 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 whichever way you want. Then you do a little release, and you're good to go for that next time. But because there's a lot in there, I am going to really throw in my oil. And my bowl's almost too small for this bad boy. I might have to put it on that pan. Put my little sheet pan out here. Let's see what we got. Alrighty. Might be too many. Let's see. Not too bad. So I'm going to try to get my kiddos now like broccoli. Yay, I do have to put cheese on it. So my next step is to get them to like cauliflower and cheese. So that's my next plan. And if I have these like already set up and ready to go in my container in the fridge, how easy would that be for me to just throw one piece on a plate, add some cheese to it, and try to get them to have some adventures with some different foods. So I'll report to you how that goes. We all know, huh? So I've got, when it pulled it out of the pan, it kind of assembled itself. I'm gonna let it be. It's not too bad, not too full. It's pretty close to being right. Remember, if we put too much together, it's gonna steam, and we don't want it to steam. We want all those really great, from the oil, we really want those great caramelized flavors to really char on the pan. It's not coming out everywhere, so don't panic. Just kind of flip this around a little bit. Let's get those oils moving and grooving in the sheet pan. Flipping, flipping, and reassemble. I did all that work earlier and I forgot. We must stir, stir, stir first. So. Not too bad, not too bad here. All right, so flavor-wise, there's so many different things, and so some people have their absolute favorites. I don't know that I have a particular favorite. I think bacon added, that's a definite favorite for me, but I'm not doing bacon right now. So you could add some balsamic vinaigrette. That would be really awesome. Let's see with this. Oh, I have like a lemon garlic. This is a dressing, but this could be fun just in a small amount to really highlight that flavor. What else do I have here by me? Of course, I have a garlic and herb. That's that onion. Where's the herb? There we are. We have a garlic and herb rub. Different flavors. Do you like some heat? We've got a chili lime. That could be fun. It does have, when you smell it, it does have the aromatic of like a chili seasoning, but it has that little hint of lime. That's really nice. And then a smoky applewood. I mean, not just for your meats. I would put a little sprinkle here and there on some of your veggies too and give them some pow. I think I am going to add just a hair right on a couple of these veggies of that balsamic vinaigrette. So I'm going to, here in just a few minutes, I'm going to throw this in. So let me show you a couple other tools. let me show you our kernel cutter. And before I do that, let me flip that zucchini and see where we're at. Oh, now I've got some charring. Yay! That's exactly actually how I want it. I'm gonna leave it in here. That was exactly how I want it. Yay, I love charred zucchini. I'm crazy. I love to saute it in a pan and get it really good. I love zucchini with my eggs. I mean, I think zucchini, eggs, and mushrooms like belong together, and don't hate me, but that's what I think. Hey, our kernel cutter is really awesome, and I was just at a party with a bunch of ladies that I know are amazing gardeners, and they're always canning and freezing corn and doing all of that all summer long. They were telling me at this party, see, I thought this, I mean, I know what it does and I think it's great, but in my mind, I didn't know that someone that does like loads and loads of canned corn, freezing corn would actually use this, and they do. They love it. So check this out. It just, once you get the hang of it, it really just slides right down the corn. And those ladies were all telling me they love this, like them and their husband would get together, they each have their kernel cutter, and they do this to corn. How awesome is this tool? So now it'll also be great for somebody that doesn't really care for corn on the cob, so you can get those kernels off for them so quickly. Throw it right on their plate and they are good to go. So I love, not this, I do love this, but I love this. So let me get some of that back on there. What's great about these flexible mats too is you can throw them, boom, right into a bowl. I'll use the back, always the back of a knife. If you are using a knife to scrape, always the back. Never want to dull your knives. Speaking of which, having a good knife, I just dirtied this one up, but having a good knife is super important when you're doing everyday cooking, when you're doing healthy cooking, because you're cooking so many clean foods, a lot of fruits and vegetables. So this is our chef knife. This is one of our Santaku knives. I've got a utility knife, and I have the little baby paring knife. All four of these I use. Of course, we have bread and tomato knives and all sorts of other options, but those are the four that I use all the time. So let's see. Oh, I want to show you this really fast. A lot of people are zoodling these days. Now this isn't going to create that spiral noodle, and we do have some products that can do that, so ask me. But this will create a long string, so if you do it lengthwise, and this is great too. This is made out of really hard, I'm just going to say hard plastic, in the way that your kid could do this. These are not knives that are going to cut you, so even your kid could do it. But look how fast and easy this is. So I'm gonna do this really quick, and I'm gonna throw it in a container. I'm gonna put some salt on it to keep it moist. And what I can do is, like any day, like I don't have time, I can throw some spaghetti sauce in that, put it in the microwave, or throw it in a pot really quick and just give it a stir and get it warmed up, get it so that the zucchini is tender. And I have lunch, like boom. But although I'm making a mess because I'm not looking where I should be, but so easy. Sometimes, I mean, I'm not against the spiral noodles, but I do like this. Now this is my personal preference because the zucchini noodles are thicker than like you're used to for being a spaghetti noodle, of course. And I didn't cut the tail off of that. But so they are, you know, they are thicker than, you know, there's some meat to a zoodle noodle, you know what I mean? And I like this because they're thinner. You don't have to curl them around. You don't have to cut them. They're already kind of, for me, they're perfect size. Check out what it did here. So see, like I can throw this now in a container and it will keep. And I can have me some zucchini noodles and spaghetti sauce anytime I want, so quickly. And again, I'm going to scoop these out into one of my containers here. I have tons back here. So I'm getting all crazy up in here, guys. And, ooh, let me show you our quick slice. Really fast, real quick before I go. It has these blades that are in a V shape. It's kind of hard to see that. However, you can see the slicing blades. So look, really quickly, I'm going to give a coarse chop to a green pepper. And you just do a rocking motion and boom. I have fajita slices ready to roll. Now, if I threw these same ones in the opposite direction, now I have diced